Hello everybody and welcome to Berringer, and this is going to be a little how-to tutorial on how to make your own buffer stops. And the reason why I've decided to do this little tutorial is that this is currently the Hornby version, and in the book here we have, this is a Pico version. Now I was contemplating buying one of these, but then a bit of inspiration came to me and I thought to myself, well actually I've probably got the materials at home to make one of these, so here's going to be my attempt at making one of these, and then I will pass on the information to you. So firstly we're going to need some rocket card glue. We're going to be needing some scissors. Preferably if you've got one of these Hornby ones to hand you can use these, but it's not an essential item. I was just simply using it as a height marker. You're going to have some matchsticks. Yes, they're back. So just some matchsticks. And I had some left over, some of this wheels. It's like the coarse stone but the wooden plank version for wheels, and that's how I'm going to be making the actual buffer stop. And now we need some card. So the first thing you do, as I'm going to show you, is we need to create a bit of a template. So firstly you get a bit of card, and this is just a scrap piece of card that I have. I then decided to line it up against the track, and using my pencil I would mark out the grooves for the rail, and then you end up with a piece like this, and then that sits on the rail like that. What I then done is, out of a larger piece of card like this, I created a template, and basically it's a fold template like that. And all I've done is, this piece of card, transferred it onto this one, and then so the holes are perfectly lined up, I then married that up to next door and created the same length on the two sides and one on the top to create a T-junction. To create sort of like a letter T. And obviously you've got this little bit at the back which will flap down. Now if I show you it sort of in position, that's how it looks currently at the end of the track. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to use the rocket card glue to cut it, and what we're going to do is going to just mark it like that with a pencil, the removable sides, and then we'll use the scissors to cut it. So now you can see that the sides have been cut, and that just sits in there quite nicely. Obviously it's not glued yet, so now that's the next thing that we have to do, is glue it. Now I've got some scrap pieces already that I've used from previously, so what I've decided to do is use the scrap pieces to make the buffer stop. And basically these scrap pieces of wood are going to be cladding the card template that we have, and that will go on there like that and all the way around. Oops, let me just get this down a bit so you can see it. And all the way around. Now I've already marked one side on the back there, so join me once I've cut them all out and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Right, okay, so welcome back, and what we're trying to recreate here is this basically Pico buffer stop, and the matchsticks will be representing the actual buffers themselves. We've now created the wood template, the card template. We've now transferred it onto the wood planking, which is this stuff here, it comes in packs of 4. It's the product code is SMP201, and it's wood planking. So we've basically used that for the sides, And this bit here, which although looks like a plain piece of black card, is actually coarse sandpaper to give it the texture, which is the texture that you find on top of the Pico buffer here. So I'm going to glue it all together and I'll show you how it all comes out. Here we are. We have our little buffer stop. As you see, you've got the sandpaper on the top. The matchsticks have been added, and the matchsticks are basically virtually the correct length already. You just cut the nib off, and then after you just stick that on. I've also used this plastic glue just to seal the sides. Now I haven't finished with it yet because the next job is going to be just to fill it all in before painting it to the colour of your choice. Now some people might turn around and say that it's just easy to go and buy Pico buffers, and this is the actual representation of it, but here's my version of it, and I haven't finished with it yet, and I'll show you when it is finished. I only needed the one, and I had the tools, and I kind of needed bits and pieces, and I just thought I'll have a go at trying to make one. So if you're interested in making it, it is actually probably a cheaper way of doing it, because by the time you just out of one pack of this course of this wood planking sheet, you could make a lot of buffer stops, so it doesn't really cost a huge amount to do. So I'll show you when it's more completed. Okay everybody, the next bit's been done. I've now filled it, sanded it, and added a couple more matchsticks to the front, if you see it like that, so you can see it's a buffer. And now comes the nice job of painting it up. So that's my next job, and I'll show you when it's finished. So here we have our buffer stop finished and in situ. As you can see, it's just been painted up. And if you feel like you'd like to have a go, please feel free to use this method and try it and experiment and see what you can do. And thanks for watching, and feel free to comment and subscribe. And before I leave, I will just show you my little acquisition for the visitor centre that I was talking about. I decided to go and get myself a Southern Region Green Mark 1. So I think the old carriage is going to stay here. It's a second-hand version, so it's very cost effective. Managed to find one at my local model shop today, so that was good news. So I picked up a bit of a bargain there. And so I think what we're going to end up doing with this is adding some steps along here somewhere, and then obviously the visitors can then climb up and have a look inside the old carriage. So bye for now once again, and thanks for watching, and until next time, bye from Berringer.